I'm Suzanne Hodes. I work in several media: oil, mixed media, watercolor, and monotype. In the first half of the year, I worked on some oils. Once the pandemic started, it was harder. When I used to work in oils, I worked here, but I haven't worked in oils since the beginning of the year, so this is all dried out. You can't work in oil unless you're working almost every day, because the oils dry out and you spend half your time scraping the palette. So I hope that'll be different in the future, but I don't know. I began to work from photographs, some of Maine, some my friends who were lucky enough to go places gave me their photographs, and I used them as a basis for my watercolors. Many of them were photographs of places I knew, so I had memories. And the photographs elicited ideas. I prefer, if I can, to sit somewhere and sketch, but some of my work has been inspired by where I grew up in New York City. And you certainly can't sit in Times Square and sketch. So I was used to working from photographs and sketches. And I try to vary the composition, use my imagination, change the colors. If I don't have a tree in a photograph, I'll just add a tree. So it's a little bit of references to nature. It's from, I'm in the middle of it. It's from that photograph.
You want to put it right there?
The sunset is always very difficult to paint because you don't want it to look like a cliche. So I have a few photos. This is one of them, and I'm trying to emphasize the warm colors in the sky with the darker tones of the trees. I'm adding trees because of the composition needs more trees, and then suggesting the leaves. There's not that much information in this photo, so I have to add a little bit. These were based on little sketches and photos near where I live in Auburndale. I liked the energy in them, and I liked the mixed media. See, I'm using watercolor, crayon, and pencil. These are not ordinary crayons. They're crayons, if you dip them in water, you can get much darker lines. Some with crayons, some with pencil, and a lot with watercolors. So I like the feeling of those different media mixed together. This is one of my favorites because of the bright orange and yellow, a sense of everything moving. I've been working for so long on certain themes: water reflections, images of lakes seen through trees. I have a lot of them in my head. So when I have a photo that I've taken, or a friend, or one of my grandchildren took excellent photos, I'm able to combine the photo with what I remember. I've been wanting to do more images of the natural world, in part to cheer myself up and also to cheer up the people who are looking at my work. When we have real open studios, we have thousands of people who come from all over. And part of it is the interchange with people as they look at your work. I met a wonderful couple 8 or 10 years ago who loved one of my paintings, and since they've bought quite a number of other paintings and also have become good friends. So it's always unexpected, and you don't know who's going to be coming, which is often a surprise, and that's a big plus. And having one's friends come is also wonderful. We're still here, many of us, working, and through virtual open studios, we want to remind our public and our friends and our collectors that we are here, and hopefully by next year there'll be a vaccine and we'll be able to do things and go places. And a community of artists is much better than artists just working totally alone. Communities are much better, and that's what we have.